Welcome back. All right, so now to do a career video that I was pretty sure I'd done. Now, while I was on holiday, I saw somebody say Jarome Iginla video, and I was like, I've done one. So I searched, and I was like, no, I never did an Iginla video for his career. So here we are. He's a Hall of Famer, and not really much argument about him being a Hall of Famer. So he's the number 11 pick of the Dallas Stars, actually, in 1995. Dallas felt like, may have got a steal here. Well, Calgary thought they might have got a steal as well. So December 19th of 1995, before he's played a game in the National Hockey League, he's part of what's a pretty major deal. He is traded along with Corey Millen, along with, and in exchange for Joe Nieuwendyk. Joe Nieuwendyk, a player who would play a key role to the 1999 Stanley Cup champion Dallas Stars. Jarome Iginla would play a key role in the revamping and the resurrection of the Calgary Flames, a team that was having some trouble in the mid-90s. So 96-97, he makes his debut in the National Hockey League during the regular season. But in the 1996 playoffs, which is the 95-96 season, he makes his National Hockey League debut. So 2 games played in those playoffs for the Flames, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. So pretty good first impression. So the following season, in his first regular season, 82 games, 21 goals, 29 assists, 50 points. And he was second in Calder voting. But no playoff experience that year for Iginla. And this was an issue during Iginla's time in Calgary. They were mediocre during certain periods, and most famously towards the end of his run there. 97-98, his numbers regress. In 70 games played, 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points. The good news is, with the physicality in Iginla's game, with his overall, with the way he plays in the game overall, he is always a useful player, whether he's scoring or he is not. 98-99, the scoring starts to increase. 82 games played, 28 goals, 23 assists, 51 points. So he sets career highs there that he would shatter the year after. 99-2000 in 77 games, 29 goals, 34 assists, 63 points. So we can have questions about Calgary and their lack of playoff experience and success at this point, but there isn't really any question about the fact that Iginla is a player whose stock is rising. 2000-2001, 77 games yet again, but 31 goals, so career high, 40 assists, also career high, and 71 points. So almost a point per game, and then 2001-2002, a magical season for him. 82 games, 52 goals, which leads the league, 44 assists, 96 points, which leads the National Hockey League in points that year. So no 100-point scorers, he's the top point scorer with 96. First team All-Star for the National Hockey League that year. Art Ross winner, Rocket Richard winner. He won the Lester Pearson as well, which is, of course, is now the Ted Lindsay Award for what the players consider to be the best player in the league. He was second in Hart voting, so close on the Hart, and he was in the All-Star game that year. He never did win the Hart, which is kind of surprising because he was one of the best players in the league. 2002-2003, 75 games, 35 goals, 32 assists, 67 points. He did play in the All-Star game that year, but he fell in the voting for everything else. 03-04, he has a very good season there, 81 games, 41 goals, which led the National Hockey League that year. Remember, that's the year before the lockout wiped out season, and the 41 goals being a league leader was a sign that maybe they needed to increase goal scoring, which they would coming out of that lockout. 32 assists, 73 points. Now, it is a magical run to the Stanley Cup final for the Calgary Flames. Plays 26 games in that, led the league in goal scoring during those playoffs with 13 to go with 9 assists, 22 points overall. He was a second-team All-Star in the National Hockey League. He won the King Clancy Award. He also won the Rocket Richard for the second and final time in his career. He was second in Hart voting again, so he's second in Hart voting twice. He also was named team captain of the Calgary Flames. He would maintain that until he's traded. And he, of course, played in the All-Star game yet again. So we come out of the lockout. And, of course, there's some excitement going into the 05-06 season for Calgary because they've been in the Stanley Cup final. They've been so close against Tampa. But it's a disappointing setback of a season. 82 games, 35 goals, 32 assists, 67 points. So his points total, matching the 02-03 output. Plays 7 games in the playoffs, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. And so now Calgary's back to being middling, all right, but they're out in the first round. 06-07, 70 games played, 39 goals, 55 assists, 94 points. Worthy of note, none of those numbers end up top 10 in scoring that year because now scoring is up in the National Hockey League. In 6 playoff games, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. In the 07-08 season, 82 games, 50 goals, which is third in the league, so that's his second 50-goal season. To go with 48 assists, 98 points. Those 98 points are also third overall in scoring in the National Hockey League. In 7 playoff games, he has 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points. It's not Iginla's fault that Calgary's not getting anywhere in the playoffs at this point. Calgary's just, they don't have that it factor that, that the teams have when they're winning and they don't quite have when they're not when it comes to playoffs. He's a first-team All-Star. He's third in Hart voting that year, and he plays in the All-Star game. 2008, 2009, 82 games, 35 goals, 54 assists, which is 10th overall in the NHL, 89 points, which is 8th overall, 6 playoff games, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points. He's a first-team All-Star yet again. So that is the third time in his career he's a first-team All-Star, to go with the one time he's a second-team All-Star. He wins the Mark Messier Award for leadership, and he plays in the All-Star game that year. The 09-10 season is when the conversation shifts. It shifts to, do the Flames need to trade Iginla so he can win a championship somewhere? The Flames were good. They were good enough to stay in the hunt for the playoffs. They were good enough that they felt like, hey, we, with the right moves, we could be right back in there. But that can be really tough for a fan base, and it can be really tough for a team overall, because you're still below the playoff line, but it depends on that glass half full, glass half empty. And clearly management was glass half full on this, whereas a lot of fans became glass half empty pretty quick. So in 82 games in 2009-2010, 32 goals, 37 assists, 69 points. The Flames finished 5 points out of the playoffs that year. So they're close enough that you can't look at the Flames and say, well, they need to blow it up. But there are definitely fans on this team saying, look, Iginla's been here for 14 years. He deserves to win a cup somewhere. 2010-2011, in 82 games, he has 43 goals, which is third in the league, with 43 assists, 86 points, which is 6th overall in the NHL. But they're 3 points back of the playoffs. So again, they're right there. The Flames are right there. And of course, anybody will tell you that all you have to do is make it. All you have to look at the LA Kings in 2012. All you have to do is make it. Look at the St. Louis Blues in 2019. Just you get in there, and you get in there on a hot streak, and you're good. So 2011-2012, what would be the final full season for Iginla in Calgary? 82 games, 32 goals, 35 assists, 67 points. Very similar totals to 05-06 and 02-03. Hey, the guy is consistent. All-Star game appearance that year, and the Flames, again, they're 5 points out of the playoffs. So that is 3 years in a row. They're within 5 points of a playoff spot. You can look at this as, hey, things are going to be fine. It's going to be great, and we're going to love having Jarome Iginla on this team. Iginla hits. He does a little bit of everything. The one thing I remember as a Canucks fan, when the Canucks played against Calgary, was I didn't want them to wake Iginla up. You would see games where Iginla was, I don't want to say floating because that's the wrong term, but the intensity wasn't quite as high. And I'd say, okay, don't throw a nasty hit. Don't do anything stupid, because as soon as anything happened that really got Iginla emotionally involved in the game, you're kind of done. So that was always my fear with Iginla. 2012-2013, and what would be his final season in Calgary, plays 31 games, 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points before the trade finally happens. And there were a lot of rumors about what Calgary might be looking for and what Calgary might want back, and the fans were underwhelmed. It is a March 28th trade for a 2013 first-round pick, which became Morgan, I want to say Klimovich? Yeah, Morgan Klimovich. I almost paused, but no, it's Morgan Klimovich. Kenny Agostino and Ben Hanowski. Now, I was able to, playing EA Sports games, turn Ben Hanowski into a regular in the NHL. I was able to turn him into a pretty good third liner. Reality was quite different. So this is a trade that underwhelmed in Calgary for a long time, right? So 2012-2013 with Pittsburgh now after the trade, his scoring comes back in 13 games, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. But he had been deciding between Pittsburgh and Boston, and so Pittsburgh's the deal that ends up going through. And so in the playoffs, he plays 12 games, or 15 games, 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. Very good playoff run, which is stopped by the Bruins. And I remember the Bruins sweeping him that year, and as a Bruins fan, I may have celebrated a lot over that. Because, again, against the Bruins, I'm like, please, come on. Because I really wanted Iginla on the Bruins. Well, I got my wish. July 5th of 2013, he signs as a free agent with the Boston Bruins. He plays 78 games with the Bruins, and what a great year for the Boston, too. 30 goals, 31 assists, 61 points. In the playoffs, in 12 games, he has 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points. I was very, very, very much hoping that Boston would hold on to him. They don't. He ends up signing with the Colorado Avalanche the following July 1st. So he ends up going to Colorado, and again, as a Bruins fan, this is again where it's as good scoring depth, winger, all this, your normal Boston topic. He ends up going to Colorado instead. In 82 games that first year in Colorado, 29 goals, 30 assists, 59 points. So His totals are a little less than the 67 points he had 3 times, but 59 points is still very respectable. 85-86, or 85-86, 15-16, 85-86, he would have been, what, 10? Anyways, 2015-2016, plays 82 games, 22 goals, 25 assists, 47 points. This is now that drawback, where that's the lowest point totals he had put up since his second year in the National Hockey League. So he's lost a bit of a step, and it really shows up in 2016-2017. 61 games, 8 goals, 10 assists, 18 points. March 1st, he was traded for a 2019 fourth-round pick to the LA Kings. And I remember seeing him with the Kings. The one time we went and saw the Kings in 2017. I remember watching Iginla closely because I thought this is my one chance to see Iginla in person. I thought he played well. And in 19 games in LA, 6 goals, 3 assists, 9 points. No playoffs, but I thought with the 6 goals in 19 games, I thought, he ends up with 14 goals. That's not bad. But that would be where his career would come to an end, right? So should he have played his entire career in Calgary? Maybe, but again, there was a lot of discussion about whether or not he should have been traded as far back as, I want to say, 2010, when it was clear that the Flames needed to shake things up. Iginla still had a very high value, and the Flames needed to think of the future as well. In 1,554 career games, which is 15th overall in the NHL, he had 625 goals, which is 16th overall in the NHL, 675 assists, which is 67th in NHL history, for 1,300 points, which was 36th overall in NHL history. Sorry, I'm watching a rabbit run around the room like crazy. Hasn't been down here in a while, so he's kind of doing a little parkour, which is far more entertaining than anything going on here. Why would I mention it? So in the playoffs in his career, plays 54 games, 28 goals, 21 assists, 49 points. Not a lot of career playoff games, but he didn't play on a lot of Calgary teams that made the playoffs. So he was one of the best players in the game. He would make the Hall of Fame in his first ballot. And in international play, the guy knew how to win. 2002-2010, he had Olympic gold with Canada. 1997, he won World Championship gold. 2004, at the World Cup, he won gold. And 1996, he won gold at the World Junior Championships. The only thing missing from his resume is the Stanley Cup, and as close as they got in 2004, he does not end up with a Stanley Cup ring. But he tried, and the effort was always there, and it's not on him that he never won a Stanley Cup. It was more of a reflection of the rosters that he was on than it was on him. I thought that the 2013 team with him with Pittsburgh, I thought that was pretty impressive. In 2014, I had some hope for Boston, and in both cases, they didn't get to that Stanley Cup. But again, I wouldn't put that on Iginla. But there you go. The career of Jarome Iginla, one of the best players I've watched. Hall of Famer, so it goes into the Hall of Fame playlist along with the career playlist. Excellent player. There you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.